Meditation, Dhyana, in Hindu theology is the art and technique of experiencing the divine within. Many a sage sat on mountaintops, in caves, in forests, and on riverbanks and meditated deeply for long periods of time. Even so, meditation is essentially an esoteric practice. An inert mountain or forest cannot be a substitute for an awakened and spiritual mind. In the sages' vast sojourns, varied ingenious techniques were discovered which were then passed on to the disciples, thus creating a chain of guru-shishya or the teacher-disciple relationship. Yoga and meditation are first mentioned in the earlier Upanishads such as Brihadatara, Katha and Shvetaratara. So too, these are described in the ancient epic scriptures of the Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita. It was Patanjali, 240 to 180 BCE, however, who compiled the famous Yoga Sutra, which outlines the 8-point program of Yoga. Yama, the don'ts. This deals with ethical restraint. The instinctive and impulsive behavior of the individual enrolling in meditation and yoga needs to be ethical and full of consideration for others. Non-violence in thought, word and action becomes the code of conduct. Truthfulness, non-stealing, continence, brahmacharya, patience, firmness, compassion, honesty, moderate diet and purity are other necessary requirements. Niyama, the do's. This deals with the cultivation of virtuous and spiritual qualities. Observance of remorse, contentment, chastity, faith, worship, study of the scriptures, spiritual intellect, japa, uttering God's name, and austerity are all prerequisites in this category. Asanas, the practice of body postures, exercising with relaxation. Pranayama, controlling of breathing techniques to concentrate thoughts and assure vitality to all parts. Pranayama or breath control has earned much attention. Pranayama is essentially directed towards purifying and quietening the mind, which is the seat of all emotions. Watching the breath by itself in inhalation and exhalation is considered an effective antidote to stress. In the opinion of Sri Ravi Shankar, the mind is ever wandering. Breathing control may be an effective whip to guide it on the right path. Pratyahara, to internalize attention without any distraction. Search of the divine within one's own self has always occupied the attention of Hindu seers. The mind needs to be pure and spiritual in the Turiya state. Turiya, which literally means fourth, represents the higher mind beyond the waking, sleeping and dreaming states. Dharana, to focus on a chosen object, spiritual, divine, disregarding any other interruption. Dhyana, to meditate on the field of inquiry with lesser beam attention. Often, the answers to many difficult questions sprout from within. Gradually, one may learn to tap knowledge from the cosmic consciousness of the divine. Samadhi, to ultimately unite and merge with the source, the state of self-realization. The final step, Samadhi literally means union with God. Some is with, Adi is Lord. There are two stages of Samadhi. One is Savikalpa Samadhi. Savikalpa means separateness. In this Samadhi, the devotee feels himself at a separate and lower level than God. The second is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Nirvikalpa means having no separateness. In this higher stage of Samadhi, the devotee completely merges with the divine. The role of the awakening of the chakras through mind concentration and subtle visualization has been the subject of intense study and has occupied the attention of both spiritual and scientific scholars in recent times. The art and science of Raja Yoga or the meditation yoga is closely associated with the awakening of the chakras in tune with various breathing exercise pranayamas. There have been many different techniques such as Kundalini Yoga, Kriya Yoga, Siddha Yoga, Nirvana Sahasrara, and Sudarshan Yoga, etc., with some variations. The 7 chakras, the Mooladhara chakra at the base of the spine, the Swadhisthana chakra at the base of the genitals, the Manipur chakra at the navel level, the Anahata chakra at the level of the heart, the Visuddha chakra at the level of the medulla oblongata opposite the throat, the Ajna chakra between the eyebrows, and the Sahasrara chakra above the topmost point of the head symbolically represent an ascending degree of higher spiritual consciousness in an individual. There are also 7 chakras below the Mooladhara. These reflect the lower animal tendencies. Hindu sages also envisage a system of subtle channels or prana which traverse throughout the body and mind. These are not anatomical channels like blood vessels and nerves. According to learned sages, alongside the physical or anatomical changes of the body, there exists the invisible energy channels through which the vital current of life force, the prana, flows. In a subtle and spiritual way, the deep breathing exercises, the pranayama, have a nourishing effect on the prana energy channels. Prana channels represent the ultimate micro-tissue life activity. It is believed that pranayama have a major effect on the body through tissue microcirculation at the brain and other parts of the body. Modern medicine has endorsed the beneficial effects of many of these meditation techniques in countering the harmful effect of stress on the human system. Many leading medical authorities now recognize that though through the practice of meditation and yoga, one can regulate heart rate, blood pressure, and other vital phenomena hitherto considered as beyond the influence of voluntary control. The best time for meditation is considered to be before dawn Brahma Muhurta, when the mind is in its most pure and receptive form. A second meditation before retiring, however, is also highly recommended as it improves the spiritual quotient significantly. It has been said that while the modern science of psychology delves into the subconscious, traversing through myriad of past guilt and shame, meditation focuses on the superconsciousness, the treasure trove of divine virtues. Paramahansa Yogananda wrote in his book, The Divine Romance, more than half century ago, the one thing that will help to eliminate world suffering more than money, houses, or any other material aid is to meditate and transmit to others the divine consciousness of God that we feel. Hindus have an abiding faith that the meditations of sages protect the world in a subtle spiritual manner. Sitting in the high Himalayas and other places in their infinite solitude and purity, these rishis send divine blessings in the form of vibrations which have a profound and extraordinary effect even when the rishis appear to be doing nothing. There have been many research studies on meditation at US universities and elsewhere throughout the world. More evidence is accumulating that this technique significantly helps in relieving stress and depression, builds up the positive mood, and actually contributes towards increase in the immune quotient. No wonder then that in the United States alone, more than 10 million adults practice meditation regularly. It is now offered freely in schools, hospitals, law firms, government buildings, corporate offices, and even prisons. There are specially marked meditation rooms at airports. At the Maharishi University in Fairfield, Iowa, even the young students meditate twice daily. There are even reports of brain changes as observed by MRI, magnetic resonance imaging techniques after meditation. Scientists have discovered palpable thickening of some critical areas of the brain cortex in monks who perform meditation for long periods. The meditation and yoga system involving the chakras and pranayamas is often claimed to be associated with the attainment of many mystical supernatural powers or siddhas, miracles. In this regard, Charles Robert Richet, who won the Nobel Prize for Medicine in 1913, wrote, "Metaphysics is not yet officially a science recognized as such, but it is going to be. Our five senses are not our only means of knowledge." Many yogis have demonstrated astonishing evidence of living without any food or water for extended periods of time. It is believed that they may draw their energy directly from the cosmos, just as plants get energy with the help of chlorophyll. Modern science has proved there are over 100 billion thinking neuron cells in human brain. Only 10 to 20% of these cells are in activity, the rest are lying dormant. Till very recently, it was believed that human brain does not grow after early age. This theory has now been discredited. Marion Cleaves Diamond, 1926 to 2017, a noted scientist from UC Berkeley, studied part of instance brain and discovered that human brain keeps growing with formation of new cells in favorable circumstances, repudiating the old theory that the brain stops growing after a certain age. In Hindu philosophy, it is believed from the ancient times, meditation at any age, in fact more often in elderly age, may be performed with favorable results and may bring about changes in the behavior pattern, making the person more spiritual and virtuous with the regular and extended practice. Common types of meditation as practiced in the US, mindfulness. This type of meditation is part of the Buddhist religion. During this meditation, you may learn to concentrate on your breathing. As you follow your breathing, you try to become completely focused and present in each moment. Your thoughts pass out of your mind without judgment, called non-judgment awareness. Over time, the goal is to learn how to experience everyday life with greater acceptance, balance, and perspective. Transcendental, this form of meditation is from the Hindu religion and involves the use of repeated words, phrases, or sounds called mantras. By repeating a mantra, the meditator can block distracting thoughts and achieve a deep sense of restful alertness. Vipassana, also called insight meditation, Vipassana is said to have been taught by the Buddha. Vipassana requires focusing on the deep connection between the body and the mind while remaining calm and detached. Zen. In Zen meditation, you close your mind to thoughts and put your whole being into the meditation to achieve a state of concentration and realize your true inner self. The art and practice of meditation has truly been regarded as Hindu philosophy's shining jewel. Its origin has been traced to most ancient prehistoric times, much before the formal establishment of Hinduism. There is evidence of monks practicing austerity and meditation in the Sindhu Saraswati civilization. This was later named as Sramana ideology. Sramana in Sanskrit means monk. It is said that in prayer a person talks to God and requests for help, while in meditation God talks to the person and prompts him towards the right path. In effect, the purpose of meditation is to listen to the word of God with utmost attention and then act in accordance with it in many situations. The most ancient scriptures of Hinduism, the Vedas and the Upanishads, are compilations of such words of God as heard internally by the sages and rishis as shrutis after extended meditations on riverbanks, in forests, and on hilltops. God in Hinduism is conceived as the epitome and embodiment of all truth and wisdom, of righteousness and knowledge. Meditation thus forms the very basis of religion. The search for such divine guidance becomes the purpose of life. Hindu scriptures are generally developed and assembled around God's tales in various manifestations, all in different situations and circumstances. Always keeping God in mind, a human being may meditate to find the answers to all his or her problems and challenges. In their deep meditation, ancient rishis connected God with infinite knowledge, infinite virtue, and infinite power, beyond any human understanding. They comprehended that when we meditate and pray to God, we in effect seek His advice and guidance in our own life situations. In prayer and meditation, we may seek divine direction and support, and in full faith and sincerity try to carry out our duty in accordance with God's command. Gradually, over a period of time, with diligence and practice, we may know what is sanctioned or not sanctioned by God. In recent times, meditation has become a watchword of human endeavor in all walks of life and all places. Although Buddhism has been more associated with the ritual and method of meditation, its origin in Hinduism remains uncontested. Modern science has accepted the art of meditation as an important tool in combating disease and malady of different types. The Hindu concept of union of religion and science has been vindicated and supported by such efforts worldwide.